What is going on, everyone? How are you doing? I hope you're doing good, because it is good to feel good. Oh yeah. And today I wanted to tell a personal story. So this is not going to be like, you know, a generic story time video where I talk about, say, an incident or an event, something that happened in my life that, you know, I was involved in. But no, it's nothing. It's not a story time video per se, but it is me telling a story, like a personal story, should I say. But I'm not labeling it as a story time video. So what I wanted to do today is tell a little personal story about, you know, my confidence. It's a topic I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and I felt like today is a good day to talk about it because 5 years ago, exactly on this day 5 years ago, I moved back from Kuwait, which is in the Middle East, and as you may or may not know, I used to live out there for a few years. So yeah, the whole thing about confidence in Kuwait, it ties itself into the story really well. Like, it is a big part of the story, like even from then, like when I first moved out there to, you know, now, and how it shaped me out to be. So yeah, without further ado, let's start talking about my road of building confidence. So throughout my life, I've never always considered myself to be, you know, a very confident person. Like, let's say a few years ago, I never perceived myself to be, you know, this big bubbly social butterfly that I am today. In fact, I would say that I was a loner. Like, you know, I rarely ever talked to people unless it was, say, you know, family. You know, I never really got myself involved in, you know, events or, you know, activities. I just, you know, I was more a kind of, you know, hide away from the world type of person than, you know, exploring it, should I say, which is a bit ironic for me, like today. But yeah, this all kind of brings down to the fact that, you know, I just wasn't a confident person, you know, back then. A few years ago, I made a video talking about my diagnosis of Asperger's syndrome and how one of the common traits associated with Asperger's syndrome is a difficulty, or just a general difficulty with social skills. Like, you know, I do believe that is a common trait, and, you know, I have that difficulty with social skills, but not like a bad difficulty like back then, you know, but I'd say I'm more of an engaging person nowadays as opposed to what I was like. So continuing the story, back in 2010, my dad basically told me, my mum, my brother, that, you know, we were going to be moving out to this exotic place known as Kuwait, and that it was going to be, you know, a new start for us, something fresh. And to give a little background about that, my dad, earlier that year in 2010, he got made redundant from his job. So, you know, he lost his job, and, you know, it was time for him to, you know, find something new. Just somehow we found ourselves in Kuwait. I still don't know how that happened, but yeah, it happened. And so yeah, it was a fresh start for all of us. You know, I was gonna be starting a new school. I wasn't particularly ready for this big change, but, you know, some changes for the better, some changes for the worse. And looking back on it now, I'd say it was a change for the better. Going on with this fresh start thing, it was a brand new school for me, and I was going into this school like not knowing anyone. Like, literally there was no one I knew, you know, from, say, a previous school or anything. Like, no one I knew was going to the school. Like, my brother was like the only person I knew who was at the school, but pretty much everyone else, no, don't know him, don't know her, don't know anyone. So in a way, I kind of had to fend for myself. And I remember my first few months at the school, I was a very shy person. Like, you know, I rarely ever, you know, interacted with people. I mean, I did, you know, have a little circle of friends that I had, but, you know, just rarely ever, you know, talk to someone, or, you know, if they talk to me, I'd probably, you know, be a bit shy and not really react. But, you know, most of the time it was a case of me just, you know, being a loner, I guess. I preferred being a loner, and, you know, or alone, should I say, and, you know, I would rather, you know, just be quiet and, you know, not talk or anything like that. Also, during this time that I was living out in Kuwait, I started my YouTube channel, and even looking back at my channel videos from 2011, just don't pause this video and go to 2011. I don't even think there's any more videos on there. Like, there was loads of videos that I uploaded back then, but you know, some of them are now not on YouTube, they're obsolete, so you can't see them. But yeah, so even though I did start making videos during this time, you know, I was not confident in front of a camera. I was not confident in person. But, you know, this was, you know, a little starting point for, you know, the confidence building, should I say. And so I remember it was the summer of 2011. So this is where for 8 long weeks we essentially came back to the UK for a little holiday, should we say. And, you know, at the end of it we would be going back to Kuwait to, you know, start year 2. And I remember during this time that I had back in the UK, you know, I got to meet up with a lot of my friends from school and, you know, talk to them about, you know, how I'm back from Kuwait and, you know, I might be back next year or something like that. There's just, you know, no idea what's going to be happening in the next 12 months. So yeah, that all happens, and, you know, we come back to Kuwait. I remember coming back to Kuwait for the 2nd year. I remember I was in Heathrow Airport at the time, and like we're about to board our flight, and I was in floods of tears. Like, I just didn't want to go back. As I said earlier, I was homesick, so, you know, I would have preferred to have stayed back in England. But, you know, we've got to do it. We've got to do it, and, you know, we've got to move on. We've got to progress, should I say. Progress with the confidence, should I say. So we start year 2. We had a bit of a rocky start because we had a family dog, you know, who we adopted in 2005, and rather unfortunately he passed away like a few weeks into us coming back. So I think that got me a bit that had me a bit shook. You know, it shook my confidence. You know, I had quite a few days off school when that happened, and I was so distraught that, you know, it happened. But, you know, it's a natural part of life, should I say. I think one big thing that really helped me in this 2nd year was the trip I went to, where I went to Thailand as part of a school trip. I talk very, very highly about this. You know, I bloody love this trip. It's the trip, in my opinion, where I caught the travel bug and, you know, really wanted to start, you know, exploring this world, because there's so bloody much to do in this world, and just there's so many countries I want to visit. And this is where it began for me when I went to Thailand, because I felt like on this trip I was more engaging with people, you know, who were in my year, the year below, some sixth formers as well, and even the teachers who came on this trip. And, you know, we were just so, like, you know, engaging with one another, and that's one thing I really liked. You know, just taking part in activities, you know, a night by the bonfire, or there's just so much that, you know, I really liked on this trip, and, you know, just wanted to do more. And a few months after that, it was the end of my 2nd and final year in Kuwait. I think the plan was always going to be that, you know, at the start of the 1st year, should I say, and then a few months after that, it was the end of our 2nd year and final year, should I say, in Kuwait. And the plan was always going to be that we were always going to move back at the end of the 2nd year. So I think it was like the midway point, so this big summer holiday that I had in England at the time, you know, between my 1st and 2nd year, and the plan was always going to be we were going to move back at the end of the 2nd year. I think coming back from this time of living out there, it helped me, you know, it helped me branch out. It helped me, you know, understand, you know, different cultures and, you know, different, you know, people of different backgrounds and that. And, you know, it just helped me. It gave me the experience of, you know, say living in another country where, you know, you're gonna have a fresh start, everything's brand new, and that really did help me, like, my whole time out there. So even though this was like a new start for us, although saying that, a new start but back in England, you know, at least we all had that experience of, you know, living out in Kuwait, and, you know, we could use that experience to progress. in these next few years. So I came back to school. You know, this was the school I was originally going to go to before I moved out to Kuwait, but obviously when we announced that we were moving out there, my place there, it was out the window, should I say. But you know, I was going to go back there anyway, and yeah, this was the start of a new time there. I would say, like, for my 2 years in this school, I was more confident than I was before I left for Kuwait, but still a little, you know, little quiet, should I say. I remember there were times where I would, you know, sit down and not really talk to people, you know, when we're on our breaks and that. And there were just times that, you know, I would be talking to people, but just most of that time I was, you know, kind of in my own little world, should I say. Another big thing that really helped me during this time was starting in, like, performing arts groups. So I remember I joined a few performing arts groups, like, you know, here and there, and there was one that I did join. You've probably seen vlogs of my time with them. Was a group called Musical Theatre High. They've been running, like, workshops and that since 2010, and then in 2012, I think it was, they started, like, their own little academy, and, you know, a performance technique group which I joined. And with this group, like, you know, there was, you know, different individuals as part of this group, and it's another thing that really helped me. Like, you know, I think this is where I started coming out my zone and, you know, started being really not socially awkward, but socially active, and I just loved it. I loved, you know, getting, you know, new skills and, you know, applying them into everyday life. And yeah, this is where it was going good for me. And then after 2 years, my time at school was over, and I was given the choice of either staying on 2 years at school and doing sixth form, or doing a course for 2 years at college. So yeah, it was quite I was initially going to do sixth form, but in the end I decided I think, you know, college would be the best for me, and it turns out that it was probably the best for me. I feel like I got a lot out of this college course, you know, I had great times with, you know, the people that were on this college course. I made a lot of friends, and it was just a great 2-year course. Like, it's almost a year since I finished college, and it's just mad to think, you know, how it's only been a year, and just, you know, just so much that I got out of that course. I think this was like the final stepping stone, should I say, in, you know, my confidence boost, because I felt like during my time at college, my confidence boost, like, propelled me to an all-time high, should I say. And, you know, I was, you know, at the peak of confidence. It was peak, fam. But yeah, I felt very confident at the end of this 2-year course. Also, another thing that helped me with confidence is that I started a part-time job around this time when I was at college, and, you know, with it helped me, you know, engage with complete strangers, should I say. And like going on nearly 2 years since working there, you know, I've been able to, you know, engage with, like, some of the regulars that come in, some of the strange new people that come in. I'll be engaging with them as well, and it's just so great. Like, you know, like, with this job that I have, it means that, you know, I can have my own money to do my own things, and, you know, go out to, say, events, or, you know, go abroad and have a great time. It's just brilliant. This is why I love this whole little story of confidence building, because it's all like these all little things that have happened in my life, or big things, should I say, have all, you know, connected with one another, and it's helped me out to be what I'm like today. So of course we have Kuwait, where, you know, it was a fresh start for me, and, you know, I had a lot to learn. You know, I think with this experience out there, it helped me with, you know, experience of living abroad, understand people of different cultures, nationalities, and just, you know, that trip to Thailand really helped me, you know, understand what, you know, how good it is to travel. And then after moving back from Kuwait and coming back to England and going onwards, you know, I've you know, joined performing arts groups, which helped me come out of my zone. my YouTube videos, you know, still doing my YouTube videos, and you know, I was becoming more confident in front of a camera. And I think, you know, at this point in time, I would say, you know, I am the most confident, should I say, in front of a camera. My time at college really helped me, you know, come out on his own again, and, you know, be more mature and, you know, interactive with people. And then also my job, where, you know, I'm able to interact with customers and, you know, not be so bloody shy. And yeah, these all have helped me shape me to be what I'm like today with people, and, you know, just how I come off, I should say. So yeah, so we've gone from being, you know, a very unsocial, you know, loner, should I say, to being this big, confident social butterfly. You know, he does videos, he does what else does he do? He does, you know, stuff with friends, he goes to events, he goes abroad, and it's just amazing, like, how it's come, like, I wouldn't say it's come full circle, because I still think there's things I need to, you know, do to progress my confidence, but just at this point in time, I'm at the peak of where I feel very happy with, you know, my confidence, and, you know, how it's boosted over the years. And yeah, at this point in time, I'm probably the most confident I've been, and that's a good thing. And that is where I'm going to leave this. So yeah, it's been quite a road for me for building confidence, but, you know, I'm at this point in time, I'm very happy with, you know, how I am today, you know, very happy with where my life is going because of my confidence, and just, yeah, we're going good. And that's where we're gonna leave this. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys, and like, comment, subscribe, and share the love. See ya.